Hey, this is the first video of my new series, My 2 Cents. This week I'll be discussing public shaming and public prosecution. To start this video, I kind of wanted to weigh in on the controversy concerning Laughing Witch and Thunderfoot. A lot of YouTubers have already expressed their opinions about it, but there's a lot of stuff I haven't even heard said yet.
So Laughing Witch, the feminist who was so proud about writing to the police, to the newspapers, to my employer.
Now, here's my letter. See my name? I put my name there.
Telling them that I was a Nazi.
A couple of things then. Didn't she deliberately put that information into a video when she was bragging about having sent Thunderfoot's employer an accusation that he's a Nazi?
She put her name into the thing, yes, absolutely. But like I say, the disingenuous nature of his claim that you could access that information just by doing a simple Google search.
Thunderfoot did not command an army of harassers to harass Laughing Witch. Like he said, a simple Google search found that. She posted all of her information and people put two and two together. I actually found this out before I even saw that video, and I'm not even much of a researcher. You could make the argument that showing her information in the video might have streamlined a few people to her brand, but it's not very difficult to figure out yourself. Of course, I'm not trying to defend these actions, but I'm just trying to go into why they happened in the first place.
That she's a friend of mine and all the rest of it. But the hypocrisy involved in people being outraged that she wrote letters to his employer to get him sacked, but are then absolutely supportive of, and indeed have actively gone out and sought to destroy Laughing Witch's company on Thunderfoot's implicit, if not necessarily explicit, say-so, shows a breathtaking hypocrisy. If it's terrible for one person to do it, why is it okay for Thunderfoot to do it?
So back to the main question, is this hypocritical? Is it hypocritical to say that it was wrong to contact Thunderfoot's employer while simultaneously saying that it's justified to write negative reviews about Laughing Witch's business? The answer to me is kind of, but not completely, and here's why. I am generally somewhat of a pacifist. You know, you'll never see me starting a fight. I will never incite violence, ever. But I'm also not Gandhi. If somebody comes up to me and throws a punch at me in a bar, you can guarantee that I'm going to do my best to restrain them and make sure that they understand what they did was wrong. If somebody draws first blood, then expecting no retaliation is completely unrealistic. Laughing Witch and other YouTubers were fully willing to bury Thunderfoot and dance on his grave based on complete lies with absolutely no remorse. And when there's even the slightest bit of retaliation, which honestly in my opinion isn't quite as bad as what she was trying to do, they're all up in arms suddenly. This is the hornet's nest that you kicked when you tried to ruin the livelihood of a popular YouTuber. And all he wanted was an apology. Not to him, but to his subscribers that you called Nazis. This is textbook strawmanning and defamation of character.
Thought that I had my livelihood ruined? When you thought that you had destroyed my career and my life, you laughed pitilessly, you mocked, you found it funny.
Maybe even alert your employer. Well, former employer.
Because he got mad at me because I made fun of him for losing his job. I need to do that. I need to show everybody that I'm sorry for what I did. It was a dumb idea. I shouldn't have done it, and it's affected the people that I care about tremendously.
But you know what? I do accept Laughing Witch's apology, and I do concede that this went way too far, and that there were so many innocent people involved that shouldn't have been. But in the same way that the letter writing campaign said that Thunderfoot had nobody to blame but himself, I think that Laughing Witch has nobody to blame but herself.
If you fucking lose your job, that's on you. If I lose my job for deciding to go online and have a message, that's not the person's job or fault that tried to fucking contact my employer. That's your fucking fault.
This is who he's hurting. These technicians and my dispatchers and my estimators and bookkeeper. These people have families, children, wives, homes. I wanted, if he's watching this, I wanted him to see the faces of the folks that he's hurting. These are all innocent people. I'm innocent. I support my wife. I think she made the mistake of running into this very, very evil man. He has doesn't care that he's inflicting this type of damage.
Look, I'm sure that Thunderfoot is genuinely sorry that the fallout from this debacle has caused harm to innocent people, but I want you to look into the face of the person that you would be hurting if your wife and other people had been successful. I know that you've been going through a hard time lately, but so has Thunderfoot. His father just passed away, yet he still works on scientific research that has great potential to help large amounts of people. I wish that I could show you the faces of the people that would be affected if his research would be halted, because after all, cheap appeals to pity seem to be the only way to win this debate. So where do we go from here? We have to draw a line in the sand somewhere. Is it right or is it wrong to bring online matters offline? To me, I think that things like legitimate harassment, legitimate death threats, and legitimate defamation of character should be brought offline. We should always do our best to bring criminals to justice. But making up complete lies about people and trying to get them fired or trying to get them arrested is a trend that I hope dies really soon. We're sort of seeing the drawing of this line with the recent case of Zane Alkin and Chris Hall. That case being one where Chris Hall posted a picture of a girl he saw on Tinder and wrote the caption, "Stay classy, ladies. I'm surprised she'd still be hungry for lunch." And I'll let Philly D explain the rest.
And the first thing I want to talk about today is talking shit online. I mean, other than porn, I think that's the number 2 thing that everyone uses the internet for. But depending on where you live, you may want to watch out for the repercussions. And the story around this all starts with a girl on Tinder and her tagline. The girl is Olivia Melville, and the tagline is the type of girl that will suck you dry and then eat some lunch with you. Apparently, it's a Drake lyric from a Nicki Minaj song, which makes me disappointed because it's a great quote, but some other people had a different reaction to it, screenshotting it and posting it to Facebook. The initial post from a guy named Chris Hall with the caption, "Stay classy, ladies. I'm surprised she'd still be hungry for lunch." And on this and some of the other posts, she got comments like, "This is why I worry about having a daughter." It's Drake lyrics from the song only, but still a grubby bitch though. But then a guy by the name of Zane Alkin chimed in saying, "I wouldn't let these cunts taste their own shit off my dick." And the best thing about feminists is they don't get action, so when you rape them, it's 100 times tighter. Holy shit. Words are words, but whoa, those are some words. So in response to this, Olivia goes to the police, who don't really know how to handle the situation at first. Then Zane Alkin kind of disappears from Facebook. Chris, the guy that did the initial post, took his down, but still other people posted it, because of course this is the internet. He then got fired from his job because of it. The story around all of this started this massive movement, and now, according to police, they found and arrested Zane Alkin, and he's been charged with using a carriage service to menace, harass, or cause offense. And now he has to go to court on October 29th. And if they decide to make an example out of this guy, depending on which court they go to, he could face 2 to 3 years of prison. And I'd love to know your opinion on this, nation. Do you feel like that potential punishment fits the crime? Do you think it should be less? Do you think that it should be more? I'm really interested about your thoughts on that.
So this is an example of an innocent man being fired from his job for no other reason than posting a picture that was public of somebody and putting a very tame caption to it. So yeah, Zane Alkin posted some stuff that honestly is probably employment termination worthy. But is it criminal? Does this guy deserve 2 to 3 years in prison? Absolutely fucking not. Making an off-color rape joke against feminists is obviously in poor taste, but you cannot prosecute somebody criminally for doing so. I mean, apparently you can, but I'm just saying you shouldn't be able to. A large number of social justice advocates are slowly buying into the narrative that ruining somebody's life or criminally prosecuting them is the way to deal with their difference in opinion. Forget about actually addressing their arguments, it's just way better to put them in jail or make them so impoverished that they can't afford internet anymore. This actually reminds me of a case that I saw talked about a lot last year in Toronto. This is the case of Gregory Elliott, a man who is literally facing criminal charges for disagreeing with feminists on Twitter. And I honestly wish that that was an exaggeration, but it's not. I'm gonna chop up some footage from a video that summarizes it better than I could.
It's the so-called Twitter case where a man named Greg Elliott is accused of criminal harassment via Twitter by now 2, originally it was 3 young women. Anyway, these 2 women, Ms. Guthrie and another, say that in spring and summer of 2012, Mr. Elliott was criminally harassing them. In fact, though, the investigating officer who charged Mr. Elliott has acknowledged in his testimony that Mr. Elliott never threatened either of these women. He never used any sexual innuendo. He didn't do anything that you would typically associate with harassing behavior. And I guess the bottom line of the allegation here is that if the alleged target of tweets or presumably Instagram or any of the other social media feels as though you're harassing them, maybe you are harassing them. I find it an astonishing concept, actually, that just because I might feel a certain way, that would make it so, but that's up to the judge. He's going to probably reserve, and I don't know when we'll know, the result of the case. Mr. Elliott's already paid a pretty severe penalty. Basically what he did was disagree politically with these young women. He didn't call them names. He didn't sexually harass them or anything. He just disagreed with some of their politics.
By now, you're probably about as pissed off as I was when I first read it. This guy lost his job for the smallest accusation of harassment with literally no evidence or substantiating tweets. And I'm not sure if he's still facing trial because of it, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised. So that's basically the world we're living in now. We've allowed this. Pointing out intellectual dishonesty and social justice rhetoric can now get you fired or put in prison. I know that feminists love to repeat the phrase, "Oh, freedom of speech only shields you from public prosecution. It doesn't shield you from consequences." Well, guess what? This is public prosecution. This is convicting people for doing and saying things that you don't like. How much privilege do you have to actually be able to put somebody in jail for disagreeing with you? People are abusing their power as social activists, and honestly, it's pretty disgusting. So what can we do about it? How do people that hold unpopular opinions shield themselves from all of this damage? Well, firstly, I would suggest writing letters to your public officials, especially around times where cases like this arise. You need to make your disapproval for situations like this very obvious. In public policy, the loudest activist usually has the most power, and to be honest, we're pretty quiet. So I'm not just saying this to provide lip service. I seriously think that some political action is necessary here. Don't allow completely unwarranted accusations of harassment to ruin people's lives anymore. It's time to wipe that delicious Cheeto dust off of our fingers and start typing. Anyways, I think I'm going to end the video there. I actually had a lot more to say, but I don't want this to go on for too long. I'm actually planning on starting a live stream where I invite a lot of local thinkers to engage with me. So thanks for watching and subscribe for more. I'm The Quiet Plate, and I will see you next time.